Is everybody in now?
Looks like we're missing quite a few, but it is time to start. So I think they're going to be trickling in
Okay,
as.
let's wait. I hope everybody's in. Hello, Corey. Is everybody in?
I'm pretty sure we're close enough. We have 18 people in right now. We don't. I'm sure we're missing a couple, but it's time to get going.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I wish you all the blessings and wisdom. Let's start our class for today morning. Today, we are going to continue the technical explanations regarding the nature of Nibbana as recorded in Buddhist texts. I'm going to quote only the original words of the Buddha so that you can understand, you can have an idea what it is like because the Nibbana is the highest ideal in Buddhist teaching. If we only know about some technical aspects, it will not be complete because technical aspects are a bit complex in expression by means of the language. Like the way it is quite difficult to explain the wonderful feeling of the pleasure you used to enjoy in eating good food and having a very good time in your life. All those pleasures, whether you feel in your eye or whether you got through your ear or through the nose or through the tongue or through the body or through the bodily buds or through just only mental states. All the pleasures are also subject to arising and passing away. They are only fleeting. They are only fleeting experience, which doesn't last longer. Unlike those worldly pleasures which people used to enjoy, the pleasure and joy of the Nibbana is very, very different. It has the long-term effect, enduring, and also it never make you bored. Once you are able to enter into it, it will make you full and complete. It will not make you thirsty for it and trying to chase after it, because the taste of Nibbana itself is self-fulfilling and self-obedience. That's why in Buddha's time, Buddha and enlightened saints enjoying the bliss, this spiritual bliss and this spiritual euphoria. This spiritual bliss and spiritual euphoria is not an imaginary state. It is practical experience. But the way people attain Nibbana, the level of the Nibbana experience are different. For example, the people who attain the first and then the second stage of enlightenment, they just attain, they just enjoy the taste of the Nibbana, only somewhat and shallow level. Only those who have attained the third and the fourth stage of enlightenment and the experience of the Nibbana they have attained is much more deeper and longer. So we have to understand this. In the initial phase for a Vipassana meditator, let me use the term Vipassana because the Samatha meditation alone cannot lead to the direct attainment of Nibbana. Only through Vipassana process, one will attain Nibbana. So the Vipassana is direct path, and Samatha is not direct, but only through the gateway of the Vipassana, one can attain Nibbana. So the level of experience of the Nibbana, experienced by those who have attained enlightenment, is quite different and depending on their enlightenment state. Once a person attains the enlightenment and development of the uncommon wisdom, he will be able to tackle emotions and mental defilements. There are quite a number of people I have met. Some of them, they are long-term meditators. Some of them have undergone intensive meditation under the guidance of good teachers. Whenever I talk with them, I notice some of them still a long way off to reach the real progress. Some of them already made progress. How one can distinguish this? It's through their reaction and the way they live their life, the way they cope with their daily problem, such as the situation, a challenging situation where the anger is easy to come up. In such a situation, the one who have not attained progressive stage will react in more disturbed, angry manner. But for the one who have already attained some progressive stage and with a sustained progress, they can handle anger or their attachment or craving or their lust in a very wonderful way. So this clearly shows how the effect of meditation have sudden influence, significant influence in some case, in daily issues, in daily problems. The process of Nibbana I explained in US yesterday, in Buddha's own word, is very wonderful. You are going to be living in everyday life, going to get involved with the everyday people, everyday situation, amid so much confusion, chaotic conditions, and so much challenging situation. Those who have made certain significant progress can live through all this. You may remember what Buddha has said. I am born in the world, grew up in the world, live in the world, but not stuck in the way of the people, not stuck the way of the worldlings. This is very simple and very resonant a statement, always pointing how enlightened saints can live life like ordinary people, but not being affected by all those kind of sufferings which ordinary people used to go through. This is how the attainment of Nibbana, how progress in the meditation can benefit a person. And these are just introductory sayings so that you can be inspired. So I want to encourage you not to dwell and not to focus on technical aspect alone, because some technical aspects are quite difficult to understand. Why? Most people, they just view everything in terms of the physical framework. Physical framework, they just want the heaven flowing with the river of the milk and honey. And the beautiful flowers are always in bloom. Fruit-bearing trees are always in season with a beautiful and blissful taste. And a beautiful men and women hanging together in the beautiful garden of Eden and the beautiful garden of the paradise. They just want everything in terms of such kind of material framework. Nibbana is quite different. We cannot view Nibbana in terms of material frame and material surroundings. If we try to view Nibbana in material surroundings, it will be totally against Buddha's explanation. That's what I want to remind you ahead of time before I can start explaining what Buddha has explained regarding the nature of Nibbana. Today, the words I'm going to quote are the Nibbana Tanura Sutta, the discourse related with the Nibbana. They are recorded in the Korogat Nikaya Udana Pali text. Those suttas, according to my estimates, are taught before he entered into the Pranibana. Let's say a few months before he entered into Pranibana. Because the stories are recorded in sequential order in the Udana Pali. So the first sutra's name I would like to quote is called Patama Nibbana Patitayutta Sutta. Patama means the first. Nibbana is Nibbana. Patis Sayutta means related. Sutta means discourse. Discourse related with the Nibbana. The first discourse related with the Nibbana. Now let me quote what Buddha has said in this, according to the original description in the Sutta. Evam me sudande kan samyam magawa savutiyam virdi chidavani anatapenika sarame. Once our Lord was staying in the city of the Savuti, in the Jeta Grove Monastery, donated by the worthy supporter Natapenika. Dina Kobana Smina Bhagwa Bhikkhu Nibbanabdi Sayodaya Dmiya Graya Santa Sedi Small Bidis most Dejedi Samhan Sedi. Then our Lord Buddha and start teaching regarding the Nibbana in order to inspire the disciple, in order to make them joyous, and in order to exhort them to attain to that state of Nibbana. Teta Bhikkhu attain Gadwa, Manasi Gadwa, Sabam Je the source Mana Haridwa, or he the soda Daman Sunadi. Among the audience of the disciple, all the disciples, all the monks, listen very attentively and very focused way and very respectfully. Then Buddha said following words: Ati bhikkhve tadayana. Disciple, there is this boy, this base. Yata newa batawi, na abo, na tejo, na vayo. Where there is no earthly matter, there's no watery matter, there's no heat, there's no wind element. Na akasani nyayana. There's no infinite space or infinite space absorption. Na vinyana charana. There's no infinite consciousness. Na akinchin charana. There's no very subtle state of the consciousness. Na niwa sinyana sinyana. There's no superfine consciousness. Nayan logo. It cannot be defined in terms of this life and this world. Na prologo, it cannot be defined in terms of the next life or next revert. Na was namas surya. It cannot be defined that there are suns and moon. Tatra baham bhikkhve niva agadingurami. At that state, disciple, I say there's no coming and nagade, there's no going. Natide, there's no static condition. There's no nasute, there's no death. Nagbapade, there's no revert. Update, it is without base. Abudan, it has ceased. Naramna Mividan, it is without any point of focus to make the focus. So 81 dukkha, this one and this point is where all the suffering, all the arising and passing ceased to function. So this is the first suttas, and they are quite deep and challenging. They can provoke a lot of thinking. What does it mean? It is only a state where all the active matter, all the active energy came to a complete standstill. I don't really know regarding the modern physics because I'm not quite familiar with the physics, especially high energy physics. High energy physics in this case, atomic energy and atomic physics, nuclear physics and nuclear energy. Because matter and energy are two equal terms, where the universe is represented by two words, matter and energy. In Buddhist teaching, life of all the living creatures can be defined and can be summarized in two words, body and spirit. Body is a representative of the matter. Spirit is representative of the energy. Even spiritual energy, so-called soul or consciousness, is a byproduct of the active physical function of the heart and brain. And as long as the heart continues to beat and the blood supplies will be circulated, and then the person will keep breathing, and then this way making sure the constant supply of the fresh oxygen is sustaining the continuation of the life. Well, once you understand this interrelated functioning, interrelated nature of the matter and energy, you have no doubt that that's what Buddha has described as Nibbana, where the active matter and active energy, known as the spiritual energy, cease to function. In this case, it may not be attractive for those who used to pure everything in terms of the material frame. What Buddha says is very clear. I would like to encourage you that Buddha is a great disciple, such as those famous monks who have attained the third stage of enlightenment or the first stage of enlightenment. They are still in the heaven, according to Buddhist text. They are still in the heaven. And all those attaining enlightenment, who have attained enlightenment, are gradually going up in their spiritual progress, even though they are in the heaven, living long, very long and healthy years, happy, peaceful years, for many aeons of time in the heaven, which is also equal to eternal life. For example, there is an abode in Buddhist text, which is called the Sodawasa. Soda means pure, Awasa means abode. Pure abode is the highest heaven where the Buddhist disciples live. And that heaven, there are still some very long-living disciples who belong to the previous Buddhas. Previous Buddhas such as Vipassi and Sikhi, Wasabu, Kakusandra, and Gonagamana, etc., including our Buddhas. You may heard about the Brahma named Sahampati. Sahampati Brahma is formerly a monk, a Buddhist monk in the time of the Gaspar Buddha. He was in that heaven when our Buddhas first attained the enlightenment in the Buddha Gaya after a few weeks. He just came down and do request to the Buddha to appeal the Buddha to start teaching, because during that time Buddha reflect on the nature of the Dhamma he has attained, he has realized. He reflect this Dhamma is so deep and so wonderful, and it also can lead to the real end of the suffering. But as people in the world are submerged in the pleasures, in the everyday affairs, they may not be able to be enlightened. It may be difficult for the Buddha to educate, to inform, to teach them. So he a little bit reluctant to teach. Then that Brahma come down, knowing the Buddha's thought. So he make a request. And now I would like to summarize this Samadhi story. This Samadhi is a Brahma, a god, very long-living Brahma, divine angel in the Sodawasa, the pure abode heaven of the Buddhist devotees. He come down to the Buddha and he requests. He has attained the third stage of enlightenment already in the time of the Gaspar, the Buddha. So by knowing all these things, we don't need to be discouraged by what Buddha has explained in regarding the technical aspect of the Nibbana. So let me continue Buddha's explanation. And what Buddha says is very clear. The Nibbana is a point where there's no material frame. Material conditionings are no longer applicable and relevant. There's no earthly matter. There's no water. There's no heat. There's no wind. There's no akatsananjayana, known as the infinite base of infinite space. Now vinyaninchayana, the base of infinite consciousness. Now there's no very delicate, fine spiritual state. There's the highest, the most fine consciousness state. Nayan logo, nabro logo. Not in terms of this life nor next phase of life. Now was Anama Surya. There's no decorating instrument of the art, such as the moon and the suns and the stars. Tatra Baham Bhikkhve Neva Agde. What Buddha says very clear. There's no coming, there's no going. No coming, no going means one doesn't need to take conception in order to gain, in order to be reborn. Going means there's no death. Nati de nasu de naubabadi. There's no death, no more rebirth. Abdita abuddha naramna miwita means abdita means there because there's no base. There's no arising and passing. Naramna, it is not the focus of ordinary mind of the people, ordinary people who have not attained enlightenment. It is only the domain and the object of the mind of the enlightened people who have attained perfect enlightenment. They can see it, they can feel it, they can experience it. That's what Buddha means. Actually, my interpretation and my explanation alone may not be enough. I'm just trying to explain and making the best effort by consulting all the commentary and all the original texts. These words are the Buddha's words recorded in Buddhist texts. So this is the first discourse, Nibbana related discourse. Now, second discourse. This discourse is called the Dutiya Nibbana Patisanyutta Sutta. Second discourse relating to Nibbana. It is at the same place in the city of Savatthi in Jidaguru Monastery, where Buddha taught this second discourse. In the second discourse, what Buddha said is just also very short. Dodatsam anatanama nahi sitcham sudasna patiweda dana janaso pasado nati kainchana. This is outstanding regarding the outstanding aspect of the Nibbana. What Buddha says is in Pali. Now let me translate in English. Dodasam. This nature of Nibbana is difficult to understand for ordinary worldlings. Here the Pali term is dudasa, dudasam. Du means difficult. Dasa means to see, to understand, to comprehend. So the Nibbana is difficult to understand. Anatam nama. Anatam is the term which refers to the basic nature of the Nibbana. Anatam. Anatam is Pali word. Now let me break down this word. An means not, is a negative particle. Nata is a combination of two words, the root word namut and suffix word tat. Namut means to incline. Ta means, this suffix means perfect tense. So altogether, anatam, without the nature of inclination toward various objects. So this itself is very clear. When a person is enter into in deep state of Nibbana, the mind remains calm because it is very calm and very peaceful. The way how it calm and how it peaceful is very difficult to explain in terms of words. Now, a practical example. I would like to point out a practical example. we have to look at ourselves. When we look at ourselves, think about our mind. Our mind, even though we trying to keep focus on what you hear on this class, on this course, the mind sometimes may wander off. Because it is quite used to the nature of inclination. It has a tendency of constant inclination, moving around and doing and thinking this and that. Even if a person is fully absorbed in some state of the project, such as say focusing on the computer work, or maybe focusing on some important work which needs a lot of attention and focus, the mind may still wander off. This clearly shows that the mind has an inherent tendency of constant inclination. Even when a person is fully engaged in something, the mind may still wander off. In the process of Nibbana, when a person is in the deep state of the Nibbana, the mind remains absolutely still and calm, without any active thoughts. Even no slight thoughts occur during that state. So this is a one special characteristic of the Nibbana. Still and still, extremely still and peaceful. You can imagine the basic matter of this universe are atomic particles. Those atomic particles never stop. They never remain static. They're always active in a state of flux, continuously rising and passing. Even this physical matter, the basic physical matter of this universe is so active. You can imagine how more active our consciousness and spiritual energy will be. In the process of Nibbana, the active spiritual energy become totally calm and totally still. That's why those who have entered into the Nibbana states remain calm and peaceful. No more physical activities, no more pain associated with the body, physical body. This is clearly recorded in various points of Buddhist texts about the monks and their disciples who are entering into the complete state of the cessation, known as the Nirodha Samapatti, or let's say enjoying the practical bliss, practical Nibbana. Buddha himself enter into the practical state of Nibbana, practically enjoying the Nibbana for 7 weeks after he attained enlightenment. And during his daily lifetime, he used to enter into this Nirvana bliss for a certain period of time because he is fully engaged in public missionary work, teaching to human beings as well as to divine beings. So most of his daily time are reserved for the public service. So he take rest. He take rest depending on his schedule. During his rest hours, he usually enter into the bliss, spiritual bliss. That's how he can maintain his physical health and his physical immunity. I think during the course in previous section, I have explained about a very wonderful process of the Buddha's action, and known as the life conditioning process. Life conditioning process is Buddha's special arrangement to keep himself fit, to keep himself healthy, to keep his body immunized against disease and infections. Once every 3 months, he entered into this special procedure of immunization of his body and recharging of the body. Once every 3 months. Please keep in mind, this is a very unusual, very extraordinary, very amazing feat of the Buddha. This is the top secret of the Buddha. When Mara, the evil one, came to us to give up his Ayusankara to enter into Pranirvana, 3 months before he entered into that, he accepted, he decided, from today on, I am not going to do this special procedure. This decision is called Ayusankara Sachana in Pali, giving up the procedure of life conditioning action. The moment he decided that decision, the whole earth shake up and down, and from west to east, and vibrate like a ocean waves, as if expressing his sadness, and all the divine beings around, and also crying in sadness. And this is what's called the giving up life conditioning process by the Buddha. Since that moment on, Buddha knew he is going to enter into Pranirvana within 3 months. That's why he openly declared that I'm going to enter into Pranirvana after today, within 3 months. And similarly, in Buddha's time, there is very one unique, special aspect of the all-enlightened Buddhist saints. They can foretell the exact time they are going to enter into Pranirvana. For example, Venerable Bhagula Thera, who is 160 years old, who is very famous as long-living and very healthy disciple of the Buddha. He declared ahead of time, going around from one building to another building, informing all the monks, I am going to enter into Pranirvana. So if there is anyone who want to offer apologies, I am ready to offer apology, etc. He informed. And also think about the Buddha's aunts, Buddha's foster mother, Venerable Mahabhajapati Gautami, Bhikkhuni Mahabhajapati Gautami, and 500 companion Bhikkhuni. They too declare ahead of time that they are going to enter into Pranirvana altogether, 501, all of them together. How can they perform this kind of miraculous prediction, foreknowledge of their impending Pranirvana? They are not committing suicide. Only through the power of enlightenment and very special miraculous power of the Dharma, they can perform this miracle. This is recorded in the Buddhist text. When Venerable Mahabhajapati Gautami Bhikshuni is about to enter into the Pranirvana, during that time Buddha was still alive. She approached to the Buddha and requests, "From now, Venerable Buddha, please let me enter into Pranirvana along with 500 Sakyam Bhikkhunis who became Bhikkhunis from the Sakyam clan, Buddha's relatives." Buddha accepted, and all the Bhikkhuni, 501 of them, they enter into Pranirvana in sitting cross-legged position together. We may never had such kind of wonderful events recorded in Buddhist texts among the religious books of the world, except in Buddhist texts. They are not enlargement and embellishments. They are practical incidents. When Venerable Bhikshuni, Mahabhajapati Gautami, enter into Pranirvana, they cremate their own body by themselves, by their spiritual energy, mind-generated kinetic energy, and leaving no trace such as ash and bones. And Venerable Ananda too, and Venerable Deva too, perform such kind of self-cremation after they enter into Pranirvana. This is recorded, so you can be convinced that this process of Nibbana is not an ordinary process. It is not nothingness. It is a wonderful state of the metta energy, which remain in a very calm and peaceful state. It's really wonderful to learn and study about the Nibbana. Here, the Buddha our Buddha used the term anatta, non-inclining. This is the one aspect of the Nibbana. And nahi sichan sudatna. This is the confirmation of the word, confirmation word of the Buddha. The truth is not easily seen. Every truth is very difficult. In Buddhist text, it is clearly mentioned about 4 difficult things to explain. The first one is called the truth, the matter of the truth, the problem of finding the truth and recognizing and accepting truth is one of very difficult issues among human beings in the world. And the second one is the life, the problem of life is another difficult issue, which is very difficult to explain and which is very difficult to comprehend for both explainer and for the listener. And the third issue is reconnecting process of this present life with the future reward. It's called sometimes reward or patisandhi in Pali. Pati means re, sandhi means connection, reconnection of life with this present and with the future. The moment a person dies, it is very difficult how he takes conception in a new mother's womb, a new would-be mother's womb, maybe a human mother or divine mother or an animal mother or a ghost mother, etc. It's a very difficult process. Most religions teach about the judgment day and resurrection. And all the people who die, they have to wait judgment day. And that judgment day, no one can tell when it will come and happen. They just only say judgment day. Those who don't believe are going down to hell by their God. So these are just few. So this issue is also very difficult problem to explain, to listen, to accept. So another issue is called paticca and dependent regeneration, sometimes called conditional genesis, paticca. And this is also very difficult to explain how things are related to each other. For example, when the rainwaters come, ordinary people, they just view, oh, this is the water comes from the heaven. This is a very easier way. When a scientist come and explain, oh, this is evaporation and coming down to the earth from the sky. And the water from the ocean, the rivers, they evaporate into the sky, and they all those evaporated water just come back here in the form of the raindrops. This is a scientific explanation. And the scientific explanation and everything mysterious, everything complex is gone and disappear. In this case, regarding the Nibbana, what Buddha have explained is not in terms of the eternal heaven and very glittering bellies like mansions and rivers of the milk, rivers of honey flowing eternally, and beautiful colorful flowers always in season, and fruit-bearing trees always bearing the fruits with a beautiful and a lot of varieties and very heavenly taste. Buddha doesn't mention like this. Buddha also mention the matter is energy in perfect state of equilibrium, in perfect state of peace. That is what Nibbana means. Once you understand this, you will appreciate Buddha's word and Buddha's explanation. Now let me continue what Buddha has said in this verse. Pativedana janato passato nati gajna. Only the one who have attained enlightenment can overcome and can manage craving and attachment. Passato nati gajna. Only for the person who have seen the truth and the true enlightenment, there will be no more kind of worry. There's not any kind of, not a single incidence of the worry and fear. Very short Pali words, only 2 lines of the verse. This is what Buddha said in the second discourse of the Nibbana related discourse. To discern nama. This incline, no inclination is difficult to understand, difficult to explain. Naisichan sutatana. The truth is not easy to understand. Pativedana janato. For the one who have attained and who have realized the truth, it is much easier, the nature of the attachment and craving, and easier to remove it. Pasado nati gajna. There will be no more incidents of worry and fear. For the one who have seen the truth, who have seen the Dhamma. That's what Buddha has said. Okay, now let's have a break. Okay, now let's resume our class. Now I would like to share what Buddha has said regarding his experience of life and of the world before I continue to explain the Nibbana related discourse. We still have the 2 more Nibbana related discourse, but I'm going to talk as a way of highlighting the Buddha's position regarding his journey of life. It is a discourse said by the Buddha. In that discourse, Buddha mentioned about how and what the world is livable place, which are the pleasures and joys of this life, etc. The name of that school is called the Pobewa Sambora Sutta. Pre-enlightenment, pre-perfect enlightenment time discourse. This discourse was given regarding the time when he is still a bodhisattva in the present life as a young prince. He narrated to the disciple. What he said is very interesting. By listening what Buddha has said, you will understand what kind of a person Buddha is. Now let me quote what Buddha said. Bobewa me bhikkhve sambodha anabi sambodha sa bodhisattva siva sato idadhoti. Disciple, even before I became perfectly enlightened Buddha, I thought deeply. What is the pleasure and the joy of this life in this world? What is very hectic point of life? What makes it is troublesome experience for life? What is the way out? So Buddha has three kind of thoughts. And the first one is regarding the pleasure and joy. And the second is opposite of it. Because people, when they are searching and looking for the pleasure, they got into pain, they got into problem. In Pali, this is called the adhinuva. So there are 2 points. The first one is positive of life. It is called in Pali asada. Asada, Pali word, it means that things that which make your mind happy and joyous, that make your mind relief and satisfying. And another is negative point, negative aspect of life. In Pali, it is called adhinuva. Is a prefix. It means intense, very much. It is an intensifier. Dina means feeling upset in the mind, in the heart. Wo means wo is a suffix, which has a feeling of frustration and sadness. So adhinuva in simple English word could be the frustration and suffering. So this is a negative point of life. And this is the third point. The third point is nisarana. Nisarana is the exit, the liberation. The point of liberation and the point of exit from all that tiring process of looking for the pleasure, being upset, being frustrated with the things that one has to go through. This is 3 points of life. Buddha deeply thought about it. What is positive point of life? What is negative point of life? What is the exit or the peace, the point of peace? It is very deep. What Buddha has said is very deep. And then Buddha continued to say, Tata Mesham Bhikkhve Etad Hosi. Disciple, I continue my deep reflection in the following way. Shankho Lokam Pradekcha Obesity Sukhan Somanasa Ayan Logi Asado. Well, Buddha said, the positive point of life positive point of the world is anything good which brings joy and happiness. In simple English, anything life has to offer which brings joy and happiness. That is the positive point of life. Yang loko nature doko viprinama dhammo ayang loki adino. On the other hand, Buddha continued to explain, life and things in life which bring dissatisfaction and frustration, pain. This is the negative point of life. No in Pali is adinwa. Okay, what are things that bring us suffering, frustration, and disappointment? According to Buddha's own word, I'm not going to add my own explanation, my own word, my own interpretation. I only use Buddha's explanation. Yang logo anacho dukkha viprinama. These are three things said by Buddha. Yang logo anacho. Any joy, any pleasure, whatever one enjoy, whatever one want to hold on to, subject to pass away. It's not lasting. It's fleeting. That fleeting nature, known in Pali as a nature, is the first thing that brings us frustration and disappointment. And the second word Buddha point out is dukkha. The thing being subject to arising and passing, and always having inherent characteristic of arising and passing. This is the second aspect which brings frustration and disappointment and suffering to all those in search of happiness. That's why they have to repeat their action to look for pain, to look for the pleasure again and again, every day, searching for the pain and pursuing after the pleasure is a never-ending process. Pursuit of happiness is a never-ending process. While we are pursuing for after happiness, we got into problem, we got into suffering. You see a lot of famous people. I have already mentioned some of the people, very famous people, who got into problem because they keep looking for and pleasure and chasing after the pleasure, and they got into problem. They got into jail. They got into many problems. So this is what Buddha said. This is the second word Buddha used. Now the third word Buddha used called the viprinama dhammo. Viprinama dhammo. This is a compound noun. This Pali word is compound noun. Viprinama dhammo means transformatory nature, transformatory aspect of things in life. Nothing lasts forever. Things last for a certain period of time, for a certain time frame. Everything has to be timed out. We cannot keep anything good we possess forever. Even our dear bodies, our blood friends and family members, we cannot hold on to. One day, anyhow and somehow, that person or that thing is going to leave us, or we have to leave it by two causes, by separation or by being by death. So this is the phenomenal aspect of life. Three aspects which bring everyone suffering, frustration, and disappointment. Buddha point out that this aspect is the negative aspect of life. Yoloke Chandaraga Winyo Chandaraga Bana Idan Loge Nisrana. This is the exit point. Exit point where Buddha mentioned. The exit point Buddha mentioned is not to become monk, hermit, to go into the forest and to retire into the mountain caves. What Buddha mentioned is very simple. Yoloke Chandaraga Winyo. You make effort to overcome attachment, craving on things you come across, in things you used to possess, and things you used to relate to, on the people you relate to as a wife, as a husband, as a girlfriend, boyfriend, or as a son, as a daughter, as a your own possessable material wealth, etc. You must try to loosen your hold, especially mental hold, known as the attachment and craving. You loosen that hold, that mental hold, that mental craving, and Sandaraga Bhana. You trying to remove and get rid of that hold, that craving, that hold. Then it will provide you with a very beautiful exit out of all this. These three kind of ideas, which comes out of the Buddha's deep reflection, are very wonderful and very profound. In that discourse, Buddha mentioned, continue to say, now let me quote what Buddha said. They are very beautiful words. Yawakiwan chan beko ewan lokasa asa denja asa dato adinunja adinuaso nature nisa nisna do itabudan nabinyati. Niwata ambekwe sadevge loge samarge sabjimasana bimniya abjaya anudran samasambodi abisamurodi bisinyati. Very simple compassion of the Buddha. Disciple, as long as I cannot clearly define and discover what is positive point of life in the world, what is negative point of life in the world, what is the peaceful exit and liberation for the lasting peace. I never admit that I have attained perfect enlightenment and I become a perfectly enlightened Buddha. I never admit in front of the people, in front of a large number of crowd, that I have attained perfect enlightenment. As long as I don't know the positive and negative or the exit of life. This is very clear. Only after he discovered the truth and the length and the dimension of the positive point of life and negative point of life and the exit point to the liberation and to the inner peace. He never admit to be a Buddha. Very noteworthy, very remarkable work. Now Buddha continued to say, Yadocha kwa hambikwe, ewan lokasa, asarinja asadato, adinuenja adinuaso, nesrinja nesranado, yatabudan avinya say, atambekwe sadivge loge samarge sabimake, sasamana brahmaniya bjaya sadiwa manusaya, anotran sama sambori, abisamuro di bachinya say. Disciple, only after and only when I discover the full length of the positive and the full length of negative of this life and the true exit path of liberation to eternal peace. Only then I admit, I confess that I have attained perfect enlightenment. I became perfectly enlightened Buddha. In today's time, some people, they used to generalize Buddha's teaching and Buddha as pessimistic and pessimism. Because Buddha talk about the dukkha and the suffering. They don't want to hear, let alone experience it. Nobody want to hear the term suffering, the term pain to mention. Even though everybody has to go through the suffering. They don't like even the expression of the suffering. So they view the Buddha from their narrow, confined, and informed viewpoint. Buddhism as a pessimism and pessimistic teaching. Actually not. Buddha's teaching is very much intellectual, very much analytical, very much rational teaching. By listening these wonderful words of the Buddha, now you can be convinced that Buddha is such a wonderful teacher who have been on such a pleasure, who have been on pursuit of the happiness and pleasure, and who have found the true extent and dimension of pleasure and positive side of life. Same way, he found negative of life, negative side of life. He also found the exit path of the liberation to eternal peace and bliss. Once you understand this aspect, this important aspect, you will admire and appreciate every word Buddha said. And Buddha continued to say in this discourse as a concluding remark, Jnanaja pana me dasna udabadi, akaupa me vimodi yamandi majadi, natidani punavodi. My ancient disciple, the knowledge arises in me, the liberation I have attained, and the bliss I have enjoyed is indestructible. Ayamandi majadi. This life is the last reward. Natidani punabo, I will always remain in eternal bliss, no more coming again. That's what Buddha has said. When we are studying the various points of the Buddha's teaching on different topics, Buddha is very wonderful. He is very much rational in what he taught and what he said. There's no confined view, limited view. There's no unbalanced teaching, always broad and always deep. Nibbana is also the same thing. Regarding the study of Nibbana, you have to have a open mind and open view so that it can enrich your understanding. Now let me continue the third discourse. The third discourse regarding the Nibbana. This is also very deep one and very long. And the play is the same city of Savatthi and the Jedagro monastery where Buddha lived for the last part of his life. Then Buddha continued to say in this and the third discourse, Nibbana related discourse, and the monks listened to the Buddha's teaching, profound teaching, very attentively and focusing their mind and their ear on every word Buddha said. They listened respectfully and attentively. Then Buddha said the following words. Now let me quote in Pali first. Ati Bhikkhve Ajatam, Abhutam, Agatam, Asinkatam. Disciple, here in this world, this process, being unborn, being unmanifested, being unconditioned, being unconditioned is as a element of the truth, like the same way, being reborn, being manifested, being done, and being conditioned are the process of and practical visible aspect of life. In the same way, being not born and being unmanifested, being not created, being unconditioned is same. Now let me read the English translation book which I have in my hand. There is disciple, is not born, is not brought to being, is not made, is not conditioned. If bhikkhus, there were no not born, not brought to being, not made, not conditioned. Nayida Jadasa Buddhasa Kadasa Sinkadasa Nisranasa Pinyayita. No escape will be distinguished from what is born and brought to being, made and conditioned. Okay, these are very deep words. It needs a lot of explanation. Before I explain this, I want to explain the first practical aspect you can see. Now let's imagine ourselves. We are being reborn from our mother's womb. We are, as an individual, being manifested in this physical body, either as a male or female, or as a monk, or as a layman or lay person. We are being created by our own desires and our own wish to be alive and to be reborn. We are also a mess of conditioned phenomena. Our bodies are based on all the conditioning cause, contributing factors. Everything in the world, every living creature, both animal and inanimate thing, are just come into view in manifestival, invisible form through different causes. They are conditioned. So what we have to understand is everything that is conditioned, everything that is visible, everything that is being reborn in the case of living being. This is the visible aspect of this explanation. Once you understand this, you will understand the other aspect, opposite of this. Not being reborn, not being manifested, not being created by God, not being conditioned by multiple contributing factors. So now here are two categories of things. One is things which are visible, which have a contributing cause or multiple contributing cause. These are one category. Everything included, everything in the world included in this category, including our body and our life also. Once you understand this, you have to reversely and conversely understand the other side. A state where there is no more not being reborn, A state where there is no more manifested because there is no more cause. A state where there is no more not being done because there is no dominant cause. A state where there is no more condition, no longer being conditioned because the role of the conditioning cause or cease to function. So this is what Nibbana means in this case. Once you understand these two categories, it will be a bit easier for you to understand. It's like an explanation of the very difficult academic subject, but you don't need to be confused about it. You just simply think that we just only need to learn and understand about what Nibbana means. And what you need to do is you have to be practical and realistic in coping with life's problem, in living life in peace and happiness. Then let me continue what Buddha said. Yasma chako bhikkhve ati ajatan abhudan agadan asingatan. Tasma jadada buddhasa kadada singasa nisrana pinyayati. Disciple, because there is this process of being unborn, being not manifested, being not done, not created, being not conditioned. That's why there is the exit part of liberation from those which are being born, being manifested, being created, and being conditioned. It's very simple explanation, although it is very deep. So you have to categorize the whole world into two phenomena. The first phenomena and those that are conditioned. This includes living beings and non-living things. Living beings, human beings, divine beings in the heaven, animals, various species of life, and also the earth and everything inside the earth, and the oceans, rivers, mountains, and all those external planetary systems, and the moons and the suns and the stars and endless world systems. In Buddhist text, Buddha mentioned that the world is made out of different compositions of material. In the same way, living beings are also composed of different mental tendency and mental characteristics. Because of this, not people, not even twin, born a few minutes apart, have different mind and different mental tendencies, different characteristics, and different parts in their adult years. Some people become successful, some are not successful, even though they are born of the same mother, only a few minutes apart, who have lived in the same mother's womb, taking the same durations of time during the pregnancy. Even those twins who share the same genetic codes, born a few seconds or minutes apart, are not similar, not the same. They have this different mentality, different characteristic, and different conditions in their growing up years of life. No single person can convince others to follow one's views. That's why there are a lot of ideas and a lot of different views and different beliefs. During Buddha's time, one person asked the question to the Buddha, Sir, Venerable Buddha, why there are a lot of beliefs and views? Why people cannot unite in one unique idea and unique belief system? Then Buddha answered, because the world itself is made out of the different components physically, and the people also made out of different mental tendencies, even though they possess this one spiritual energy, but they have different mental tendencies inside their deeply rooted level of mind. This is the main reason why there are a lot of different religion and different beliefs and different views. That's what Buddha has mentioned. When you understand this, Buddha's profound thinking and profound teaching are very much wonderful. What we need to understand is that regarding the Nibbana, the explanation given by the Buddha himself may seems like deep and complex, but we have to come down to the point of practical application in our daily life. Whenever we can use Buddha's teaching as an applied spiritual tool to deal with the problem, to deal with the everyday life, so that we can have peace and satisfaction and relief, then Buddha's teaching will serve the purpose, practical purpose. Now let me continue what Buddha has said. This is the last discourse, the fourth discourse said by the Buddha. This discourse is also very deep, but it is quite understandable. I will try to make my best effort to explain using a simple language. This fourth discourse is also taught in the city of Savatthi in the Jetagra monastery to the large number of monks and devotees. Buddha said the following words. This is the very important explanation in Buddha's own word. Nesi tas chalita. Nesi tas chalita nati. These are the first two pair of words Buddha mentioned. It may be a little bit complex, but it is not difficult. Buddha used the Pali term nesiddhata. Nesiddhata, supporting base. For example, we cannot live, we cannot do without any supporting base. Practical example, we are now sitting on the chair. We are now sitting on the chair. Our daily life is very much related to the art. We cannot be separated from the art. We have to relate it to the art. We just work on the art. Our house are built on the art. The food we grow are grown in the art. Even the clothes we dress, we put on, come from the art. Every material we use are art-based. They come from the art-based material, art-based resource. This is a just brief explanation regarding the support base. In Pali, this is called nesita. In the same way, our body is our base for our soul, our spirit, our consciousness. So our very existence of this spirit, this consciousness, is supported by this physical body. This physical body is our support for our life. This is how everything is based on a support base. Once this support base is shaken, and we also shaken. For practical example, everybody has to depend on their daily life, on their daily job and daily profession. Now that coronavirus is causing a lot of problems, some people lost job, very sad, because they lost their job. Their daily problem started. They have to worry about the monthly payment for monthly rents and monthly utilities, etc. Because their base is shaking. What the Buddha means is that nesidada slida. Having base, there will be the process of shaking. Anesidasa slida nati. Having no base, there will be no shaking. So very simple statement. Okay, now let's continue later on. For the moment, let's have a break. Now let me continue quoting the second part of the word Buddha said. Anesidasa chalita nati, chalite asti pasati. If there is no support, or for the unsupported, there is no shaking, there is no instability. So what means that if something is not being supported by anything, there will be no shaking, no instability. Pasadiya sati nati na hodi. When there is a stability, there will be peace. When there is peace, there will be no inclination. Now I would like to quote the Jundi Ireland's translation. For the unsupported, there is instability. For the supported, there is instability. Or it means that if something is exists based on any support, there will be a shaking and instability. Now the next word, for the unsupported, there is no instability. For anything that is not based on any support, there will be no effect of shaking. There will be no shaking. When there is no instability, there is serenity. The Jundiana used the serenity, the word serenity. In Pali, it's called Patipasati. Pasati. Pasati means peace. He used the term serenity. When there is no instability, there is serenity. When there is serenity, there is no inclination. I already explained inclination process of the mind. Our mind always inclined toward anything. This process of inclination is very important in giving rise to next process of reward. In the Mahasamaya Sutta discourse, very profound discourse of the Buddha, Buddha clearly mentioned about the motivating, contributing cause for reward. In that discourse, Buddha used the term adasa netasa ito nidana ye samprayaya narasa hwanti. These are the words of the Buddha said in Pali. In English, it can be roughly translated that desire and firm desire, very firm, confirmed thought are the force that leads to the process of reward. They are like a driving force for everyone to be rewarded in next phase of reward. In same way, for a point out here, pasadiya sati nati na hodi. When there is calm, there will be no inclination. I rather like the calm, the word calm, instead of serenity. Because the mind in the Nibbana state is very calm and very powerful and without any inclination process. A calm mind will not lead to the inclination. And then Buddha said in his remark regarding Nibbana, Nadiya asadi, if there is no more inclination, agadi gati nahoti, there will be no coming, there will be no going. These are idiomatic expressions. Coming and going. There are no ordinary coming no ordinary going of the physical body. No physical coming, no physical going. It is the process of the spiritual continuation. Humans, let's say, I don't want to use the term human spirit. Spirit or spiritual energy, even though it is invisible energy, it becomes manifested when it takes up the conception in the body of a specific life. And the process of taking conception in the womb of someone either in the heaven or in the human world, in the animal world, it's called, what is it called? Agati, coming into next new life. This is the explanation regarding coming. Now let me explain going. Pali word for going is gati. We roughly translate as going because It is made out of two Pali words, Gati, Ger, Ti. Ka derived from the root Gamut. The root Gamut means to go. Suffix T is mean at of going. So Gati means at of going. Everybody has to do at of going. When their present, current life expire. In more practical term, it is called the destination, destiny. So going to another life, to a specific destination. This process of going to a specific new life is called the going. In Buddhist texts, there are 5 destinies. So please keep in mind, there are 4 kinds of going. 4 kinds of goings. Now let me explain what are they. The first is called human life and human war. This is the first, Gati. And the second, Gati is called Manusa and Deva, divine war, or the heaven. So this is the second point of going. And the third point of going is animal world, animal life. This is the third going, the third destiny. And the fourth going, the fourth destination is called Piti Visya. Piti means the ghost. Visya means domain, the domain of ghosts. And the fifth one is called Niraya. Niraya means the hell. So altogether, 5 kinds of Gati or 5 kinds of destination for the spiritual energy to take up its next phase of visible physical form. In the Buddha's own word, Buddha mentioned that if there is no more inclination of the spiritual energy in a Nibbana state, there is no more coming, there is no more going. I hope now you understand, because I have made my best effort to explain you what means coming, what means going. Coming means being reborn by taking a new conception in newborn mother's womb. Going means going to the next phase of revert to 5 kinds of destination, 5 kinds of goings, 5 kinds of place. So Buddha continue to explain. Agati Gadiya Asti Chutu Papa To Nahoti. This is the fifth statement of the Buddha. To translate this word, it means that if there is no more coming and going, there is no more transfer, no more reconnecting. Or Pali was used the term 2 times, Chutupapado. Chutupapado is a compound noun. It is to be separated 2 words. Chuti upapatsa. Chuti means moving out. What does it mean by moving out? By the word Pali term chuti. This Pali term chuti means moving. Chu and ti. Chu, a Pali word, to move. Ti means act of moving. Act of moving is originally not body physical moving. It's actually spiritual moving. The moving process of spiritual energy from one existence to another existence. In English, some people are trying to interpret this word as death. Although it is a suitable translation, but it cannot convey the complete meaning of the word. Chuti means moving out. I can explain this process of moving out by a practical example of our own moving. We move from one house to another house depending on our decision. Sometimes some people, they even move from state to state, another state, from Missouri to California, from Missouri to New York, from Missouri to New Jersey or Virginia, or from USA to Hong Kong or UK or Holland, etc. And moving process for the physical body involves moving one's own body, one's own family, and one's own important essential possession, bringing all that with a person to new place. This is a physical moving, visible and understandable in this present life. Moving of the spiritual flow is quite complex to explain a little bit. I will try my best to simplify. When a person moves spiritually, when a spiritual energy moves from one phase of life to new phase of rebirth, it is only through spiritual energy, very invisible, totally invisible process of migration. We cannot see physical migration process, so we cannot interpret from the viewpoint of material migration and material transfer. When a person, let's say, I don't want to use the term person, I want to use the term spiritual, individual spiritual flow. When an individual spiritual flow or spiritual entity migrate, it moves in a very rapid succession within a fraction of a second, within a nanosecond. When this process occurs, all the positive and negative spiritual energy moves with it. So this kind of the migration is called what is it called, the chuti. So I hope you understand now this very simple word, but very deep meaning, with deep meaning. Now another word, chutupapado, chuti upapada. Second word, upapada. Many Pali scholars, they try to interpret this word as a rebirth. I don't prefer this translation, even though it is suitable for people to make it a little bit understandable. The Pali word upapada is very simple and also very much direct to the point. Upa means nearby. It is a prefix word. It's a prefix which means close and nearby. Now the pada. Pada is derived from the root pada. Pada means to fall down, to fall down. The suffix is na. Na, this na is invisible. It plays the role of the ayat of the falling down. Ayat of fell down closely. Just as the way you throw something and then it falls down near, it doesn't fall down farther. So ubabada means falling close, falling nearby, or approach and manner. In this case, the spiritual flow may fall down somewhere, maybe in Hong Kong, maybe in New York, even though that person who died, maybe in somewhere else. His spiritual flow, depending on his thought process, may fall somewhere. Sometime maybe near, sometime maybe at a great distance. This process of falling down is called upapada. Falling down and for getting ready in preparation for a new conception. This is what is mean. So that's why people, the scholar, are trying to interpret this word, conception or revert. So now let me recap what Buddha said. When there is no more coming and going, there is no more migration or no more falling down and a new conception. They are very deep. Now next page of the sentence, Buddha said, Chutu Baba de Asti Nevida Nahoran Naubia Mantrina. Now let me translate. If there is no migration, if there is no more falling down in preparation for new phase of rebirth, then that spiritual flow neither present here, nor is present there, nor it is present in the between. Is one door dukkha. This is a concluding word of the Buddha. And regarding this explanation, Esewa, this process itself, ando dukkha, is the end point of dukkha, the end point of rising and passing. Buddha used the term dukkha. We try to interpret this word as arising, as suffering. But the English interpretation of suffering is not complete, not enough. So I rather use this in itself is the end of the continual arising and passing. So these are very deep words and very wonderful explanations given by the Buddha himself regarding Nibbana. In this explanation, Buddha talked about supporting base, how a physical life has its own supports, such as 5 aggregates. When there is a supporting base, in case it is shaken, then there's no stability. If there is no longer exist on the support base, there is no way for any process of moving or shaking. When there is no more shaking, no more moving or no more migration, there is calm and peace. When there is the process of calm, there will be no more inclination, no more restlessness. When there is no more inclination and no more restlessness of the spiritual flow, there is no coming and no going. When there is no coming and no going, there is no migration. There is no falling down nearby, getting ready for next phase of rebirth. When there is no more migration and no more preparation for next phase of rebirth, then that spiritual flow, that spiritual state is not present here, neither present here, nor present there, nor present in between. That's the point where the rising and passing stop. Once you hear these explanations of the Buddha, you will know how Buddha is very skillful and very deep in his explanation. He doesn't use any kind of the philosophical or theoretical gesture or speculation. He just only point out directly. Our spirit are based on our bodies, and our existence is based on 5 aggregates, especially physical aggregates is more visible. Based on our physical aggregate of this body, our mind is always restless because we used to interact. Even though we don't interact, we have interaction with the outside, our environment, physical environment, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the taste, and the sensation. Let's say, as a hypothetical scenario of a person, a disabled person, whose eyesight is already lost, whose hearing capacity is lost, whose smelling capacity is already lost. He has only the tongue which he can eat for daily survival. His body is also immobile, incapacitated, living on the bed all the time, bedridden. Even such a disabled person, bedridden with the normal physical body, but eyesight and hearing capacity, the nose capacities are already gone. With the remaining sense faculty of the tongue and the body, he can still interact with the outside environment. And his mind, as a result, is always distracted agitated, depending on situation. For us normal people, our eyes are normal, our ears are normal, our nose are normal, and our body organs are normal. So our interaction in our degree, our mental restlessness degree is more higher and more constant. So every day we have a lot of billions of thoughts every day. Those kind of thoughts some are most of them are meaningless and just only trifling one, trivial ones. Some thoughts are serious, maybe sometimes angry thoughts, angry at someone or something, or maybe we are attached to something, we crave for something, and all these kind of mental activities are called in Pali abhisankara, the process of conditioning. We are always doing this kind of conditioning process every day in our mind. Based on this conditioning, based on the positive and negative states, we got the results. If we are not skillful enough to manage our thoughts, to manage our conditions, we become the victims of our own emotions. So pitiful. That's why spiritual training and spiritual knowledge through the study of the noble teachings of the Buddha is very essential. Without a proper knowledge of the mind, we don't know how to handle our emotions. We will be always victim and prey of our own emotions in our own mind. Our actions in our life will be always manipulated by our own emotions. Even though we may not attain enlightenment yet, we can be on spiritual path by seeking knowledge, by studying the noble teachings of the Buddha, by broadening our understanding and enriching our knowledge. In this course, you have learned very wonderful aspects of the Buddhist ethic and also spiritual training and spiritual development. I'm trying to collect a lot of the important texts which are associated with ethic and which are associated with spiritual training. All of these you may not be able to digest or to grasp everything. Just trying to get more essential information and trying to give it and keep reminding yourself. In this way, it will be more beneficial out of this course. In the afternoon time, I'm going to continue the explanations of the Nibbana and some practical aspects so that you can study much further and you can train yourself on this spiritual part. Buddha's teaching is like a treasury full of wonderful treasures which you can use to benefit in many ways. In Buddhist Buddha mentioned that all Buddha's teachings If one can grasp only one single word and apply it in daily life, it will lead him to many results, many blessings. So throughout this course, you have studied many important things. I have provided course outlines in the paper form so that you can renew your knowledge and you can familiarize important things. The most important thing are the collection of discourse, and you just go through all those discourse slowly, little by little, and this will help you understand more about ethic and morality and how they serve as basic, necessary, important foundation for the spiritual progress. By familiarizing and renewing your knowledge with those concepts and those teachings, you will have a very strong base of knowledge and understanding in your spiritual journey. May all of you be able to progress much further on your spiritual path, on your journey of life. May you progress and may you be blessed. Okay, now let's have a break time. See you.